Welcome back to the drawing board. My name is Mark Saxon. Thank you for joining me for yet another week. And time for them Friday beers. One more. Fantastic. Now, start off by apologizing. My voice is a little rough. And the background, I'm in the middle of moving. So forgive me for that. But let's jump right into it. The UEFA Champions League final, May 31st at noon Arizona time. Inter Milan, Paris Saint Germain. Now, here's what's interesting: PSG beating Arsenal, Inter Milan beating Barcelona. I do believe that Barcelona was the tougher opponent. Um, every time Inter scored, Barca came back and scored. Arsenal just not having enough in the tank. What I mean by that is in the first leg they lost 1-0. In the second leg they lost 2-1. Barcelona, however, being down multiple goals to come back and tie in the first leg 3-3, being down multiple goals, being able to come back and tie it 3-3 before they ended up losing 4-3. Inter Milan showing a lot of character, showing a lot of pride. I think that is going to elevate Inter Milan's game, even though that they are not the favorites in this one. And I'm going to take Inter Milan. Congratulations to both teams for making it this far. Very tough tournament. Well, we will see who the king of Europe is tomorrow afternoon. Cannot wait for that. Now let's go to basketball, where, of course, the Thunder taking the West, kind of like I predicted. I think they were just a little bit too much for the T Wolves. T Wolves, unfortunately, not able to find that groove that they were able to find in game three, not able to stick to it, stay consistent. The Thunder, arguably the most talented and youngest team, well, one of the younger teams in the NBA. So I'm going to take series 3-2, Pacers over Knicks. I'm going to take the Pacers to close it out. If you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, after the Knicks beat the Celtics, I would have definitely been on the Knicks' list. But the Pacers coming out, showing out, doing what they've been able to do, not only beyond the 3 point land, but inside the paint and defensively, able to maintain ball possession, doing their thing. I'm going to take Pacers to finish it out. Now let's go to the NHL, where McDavid and company in Alberta being able to lock down the Western Conference. Ah, had the Stars. I had the Stars make around and having a fucking series, doing what they do. Stars just seemingly being as hot as they can. To this point of the season, especially in the playoffs, just not enough. Not enough as Edmonton closes it out. And the first game to start on June 4th, the rematch of last year's NHL Finals. Panthers, Oilers. I'm sticking with the Panthers. I don't care what the experts say. The Canadians are not going to win a cup this year. Going back to Florida, Kachuk's going to get it done. Not Otter, sorry, that's Dallas. Kachuk's going to get it done with the addition of Marchand. You love him or hate him, obviously makes an impact in a game. And that whole Panthers roster being able to do phenomenal things when their backs against the wall. You got Barkov, you got Reinhardt, Lundell, and Nosek, and obviously, like I said, Kachuk doing what they do. So I think the Panthers are going to be too much to handle. Now, Funny that we say that because a lot of superstitious folks came out after Edmonton won the Western Conference Final as McDavid touching the conference championship trophy, which is notorious for bad luck. Now, call me silly, but I will say this: didn't work last year, didn't work in prior years. Why not? Why not get after it? Why not get after it? The East has won, I think, the last 6 years, whatever it is. So why not switch it up? A bunch of people can get pissed at McDavid. I say switch it up. Um, Traditions are only as good as what the stats say, and it's only weird if it doesn't work, right? That being said, I'm still going to say that the Panthers are going to take this. I say Panthers in seven. That's going to be a tough series. I don't think it's going to be as easy as it was last year. I believe last year it was 4-2. Um, I'm taking Florida though in seven. Now let's go to the MLB. MLB being kind of different than what I expected. The AL East, the Yankees in first, I called that. Tampa though 6.5 in second. Toronto 6.5, also tied for second. Boston. See, I thought Boston would be a little bit tougher. It's still early, a lot of ball left. 8.5 back. And the biggest shocker was Baltimore 15 back, firing their manager, not being anywhere close. A lot of interesting stuff with that club. I don't see what went so wrong. I mean, it's that's one of the clubs that I was truly shocked by. It's crazy. AL Central, I called for the Twins to win this division. They're only six back. The Tigers showing out, carrying the momentum from last season, being in first place at 38 and 20. Twins right behind them, 31 and 25. Cleveland, 30 and 26 behind them. Kansas City behind them. And then, of course, the White Sox, which we all figured would be in last place, are in last place. Now in the West, I called for the Rangers to win. Houston's in first, 31 and 26. The Mariners, which I also said you could never count out, at 30 and 26, only a half a game back. And then the Rangers, 3.5 back. But the Angels, only 4.5 back at this point of the year. Battling. I don't think they have enough in the tank, but they're battling so far. The A's being a lot better than I thought they would be. Only 12 games under 500 at 8.5 back. Let's go to the National League where I did call for Philly to win this division. Philly is in first at 36 and 21. The Mets 35 and 22, a game back. The Nats in third place, which really shocks me. 27 and 30. And the biggest shocker of all, the Braves. Braves fans, I still say relax, right? We're at the end of May. Okay, we got to go through the dog days of June, tough month of July. We'll see where we're at. But the Braves are in fourth with 9.5 back, 4 games under 500. And the Marlins, 11 games under 500 in the basement. I think anybody could have predicted that. Let's go to the Central, where I call for the Brew Crew, I believe, to win that division. They're 5.5 back, as the Cubbies are in first place, 35 and 22. Cards, 32 and 25. Brew Crew, 30 and 28. Cincy at an even 500 at 29 and 29. And Pittsburgh in the basement. I think we all could have called that. Now let's go to the NL Best. I'm sorry, the NL West. The Doggers not running away with it. Not running away with it. 35 and 22. The Friars right on their tails. 2 games back. 32 and 23. Los Gigantes 32 and 25. 3 games back. And the Diamondbacks 27 and 30. Now I expected the Diamondbacks and the Giants to be swip swap, but they're not. And the Rockies, way worse than I think anybody could predicted. 9 and 48, absolutely atrocious. worst team in baseball, haven't reached 10 wins. Awful. Absolutely awful. Let's go to the UFC. There's a fight night this weekend. Enjoy that. I'm only going to talk about two fights though. You got Gamrot is fighting Klein. Gamrot's a boss. I expect him to take it. Um, Honestly, either submission or knockout. In his last five fights, he is 3-2. Um, I'm sorry, one decision, one submission, one knockout. And Klein doing the I guess at 4 years younger, the best that he could be doing with four wins and a draw. But here's the thing, honestly, beside Bahamondes and Roberts, maybe Moises. There's not really a bunch of big wins there. So I'm sticking with Gamrot. And the main event, Aaron Blanchfield and Macy Barber, both Americans fighting for the main event, taking Aaron Blanchfield. She's a year younger. She's got an inch reach. In her last five, she's 4-1, only losing by unanimous decision. So went to the cards there. Barber 5-0 in her last. I think this is going to be an absolute contest. I think this is going to be fun to watch. But I'm taking Aaron Blanchfield. Now let's go to my fuck it Friday bets, folks. A lot of fun stuff going on this weekend. Gamble like a degenerate, drink like a degenerate. I think that everything that we got going on is going to be nothing but entertainment. So just get involved. Get involved. I'm going to take Inter Milan over PSG at a plus 240. This is all on DraftKings, by the way. Not an ad. Wish it was. Not an ad. Wish it was. So DraftKings, keep me in mind. The Padres over the Pirates at a minus 218. The Blue Jays over the A's at a minus 162. Cubbies over the Reds at a minus 155. San Diego FC over Austin FC at a minus 150. The Pacers over the Knicks to close it out at a minus 175. Gamrot over Klein at a minus 155. Aaron Blanchfield at a minus 218 over Barber. $5, folks, wins you $414.70. Time to make that paper. Time to make it happen. Let's have a ball. Nothing but sports going on this weekend. Beautiful time of year. It's summertime. Let's get it in. Once again, I'm Mark Saxton. This is Back to the Drawing Board. Thank you for joining me for yet another week.